You can't make shitty products and then expect them to sell. It doesn't work like that. Hey guys, it's Zane. Today we're going to be going over my top tips for starting a successful Etsy shop. When I started last year on Etsy, I had absolutely no experience on Etsy or with graphic design, but I still managed to go from $0 to $20,000 in my first year. Now I want to help you guys do the same. So stick around to the end to hear my top, I think, 7 tips to doing super well on Etsy. My first tip is to always make sure that there's demand for your product before you create the product. You don't want to waste your time creating products that nobody actually is looking to buy, nobody's searching for, nobody wants it. So before you make that product, go onto Etsy, type it into the search bar, see if products like that already exist, see if they're best sellers. See if people are actually buying that product and see if there's a market for it. There are tools like eRank and Marmalade that you can also use for Etsy research. They will tell you how much products and keywords are searched for every month, and they will also tell you the competition for that product. So it's a really great way to quickly see if there's demand for a product or not. My second tip, which I think is pretty obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people overlook this very basic thing. Your products have to look good. They have to be pretty. They have to actually make people want to buy them. You should be making high quality products. Take your time, especially when you're starting out. If you have no graphic design experience, take your time. Canva, the program that I use to create my products, they even have videos on branding and videos on design that I would highly recommend that you take a look at if you're just starting out, so you can get the design basics down at least, because nobody's gonna want to buy your product if there are 50 different other people they can buy from and their products look way better than yours. Also, be sure to proofread all of your words, because people will leave you a bad review if they buy something and they find a typo on it. There's always that really particular, not even particular, because I mean everything should be spelled right, but I had an answer key with a misspelled word on it, and the lady lost her shit. She was so mad. So from that on, I've really made a point to proofread all my items. I don't know, in the beginning I really hated proofreading my own work for whatever reason, but I had to get over that, because your work, your product should be 100% error free, especially if people are giving you money for the product. Yeah, that lady was crazy. My third tip is to master Etsy SEO, which stands for search engine optimization. It's like a tongue twister. So Etsy SEO basically just helps you get found in search results. When people come onto Etsy, they type in their product, you want to be on that first page of the Etsy search results, because let's be honest, no one's really going to page 2, 3, 4 when they're shopping for things. Usually we buy something off the first page, so it's pretty important for you to try to get as many products as possible onto the first page. So quickly, how do you do that? There are 2 types of keywords. There's broad keywords you can use and long tail keywords, which are more specific keywords that are less competitive, and they're also 3 words or more usually. Learn how to do your titles, your tags well, and the description is important too, but it's not important for Etsy. It's more important for being found in Google search results. Just a quick promo, you guys. I'm going to be launching my passive income with printables ebook super soon. I thought it was going to take me only a week to write this, you guys, but it's been a month now and I'm still working on it because I want it to be perfect for you. It is literally filled with my best strategies, tips, and step-by-step breakdowns of how to do everything I talked about in this video. So if you want to make money this Q4, this holiday season coming up, now is the perfect time to start your Etsy shop. So grab my book and start making money, start making some sales. Seriously, do it. Number 4 is your listing photos. Just like your product, they have to be on point. Your listing photos, especially that first thumbnail photo, that's what's going to get people to click on your listing. So it has to be a good looking, attractive listing photo that's like inviting people like, hey, come to my shop. And by the way, I use 3000 by 2400 pixels for my canvas size. I get that question a lot, so there you go. My fifth tip would be to do your competitive research. Like, there's nothing wrong with going out there and seeing what's working for other people. That's actually really freaking smart. By no means am I telling you to go out there and copy people. I'm not telling you to do that. You can always take inspiration from people, but always put your own spin on things. When you're doing your research, make sure to take note of what your competitors are putting in their listing photos and in their description. Like, what kind of information are they telling the customers? Like, see what product sizes they're offering to people. See if they're doing bundles, like what their price points are. You gotta be competitive to make sales. When you're putting a product into the market, you want to always create a product that is either of equal value or is providing even more value to customers. Because honestly, it doesn't make sense to see all these gorgeous, like, already existing products, and then you make a product that's like substandard, and then you're complaining that you don't make sales. It doesn't make sense, because you didn't go, like, let's go back to the second tip. You didn't make a good looking, high quality product, so you can't complain about not making any sales. Don't do that. You can't not do the work and then expect the reward. It doesn't work like that. My sixth tip would be to be a scientist. Experiment, experiment, experiment. When it comes to business, you're always testing out different, like, hypotheses. You're testing out what methods work the best. So you should be experimenting with your price points. Like, experiment with your product designs, your listing photo designs, run sales, give discount codes, see what's gonna work best and what will convert the best. You know, in like 7th grade, when we would have to like do the little hypothesis, like, if I did this, then this will happen. That's basically what you're doing with your Etsy shop. Like, you always should be trying to test out a new way of doing things to see what works best until you come to the conclusion like, hey, I should mark up my shop 20% and then always run a sale for 20%. So the customer thinks that they're getting an amazing deal, but you're not gonna know that or figure that out until you actually start experimenting. My last tip, and probably the most important tip, and it's applicable to literally any side hustle that you do: be patient and don't give up. So many people quit in like a month because they haven't made a sale yet. And you know what? It sucks and it's hard to like put in all that effort and not see the reward yet, but you have to keep pushing. My first 2 months on Etsy, I was working on this shop at least like 30 hours a week, and I made a grand total of $30. I must have made like 10 sales. And it was discouraging, but I was encouraged by those few sales that I was making, because I always say, if you can make $1 doing something, you can make like $100,000 doing it. Nobody can convince me otherwise. It's just about getting the traffic and having a good offer, a good product. You have to stay positive. Don't focus on the lack of sales. Focus on the sales that you are getting, because that means that you're doing something right. You just have to figure out how to do that something right over and over and over again, you know? So with anything, it takes time. I say don't quit until you have like 50 items in your shop. You're obviously not going to have 50 products in your first month even, usually, unless you're literally working on this full time. So yeah, don't quit. Don't quit on yourself. Don't do it. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. And if you're anything like me, you have like shiny object syndrome. So like you work on something for like, 2 weeks, a month, even 2 months, but then you're not getting the result that you wanted. And then you hear about this new money making idea. So you're like, hey, maybe I should try that and stop this. So then you jump to that, and then you work on that for another 2 months. And then you're like, this is not working. So you jump to something else. But you see, if you had just stuck with the first thing that you did and did it for like the 6 months that you spent like doing everything else for, you know what I mean? Just stay focused on one side hustle for 6 months. That is what I'm trying to say. Because Etsy is the first side hustle that I actually like committed to for 6 months and did not give up and did not let anything else distract me, and I actually fucking made money. there you have it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check out my passive income with printables ebook below. If you do end up getting it, let me know what you think. Hit me with any questions that you have. I'm super excited for any feedback. Until next time, you guys, keep hustling.